I found this eye extremely open, just like this kabisa, kumefunguka kabisa yote. Then my nose had like changed its position, and then my mouth had also changed position. It had moved to this place. And I was feeling so tight, and my ear had that sound, that like a whizzing sound. The time I spent in a toxic work environment was 2 years. And the exhaustion, the lack of sleep, the lack of appetite, and the constant bickering from dissatisfied client and the employer and colleagues just joined up and blew up on my face. You know, it starts with you recognizing this is not right, but you soldier on. But it will come a time that your body now starts reacting to this environment. Then when your body now starts reacting, you again push yourself. When you push yourself now, the health issues start creeping up. My name is Pauline Anyango. I would like to pretty much talk about how a toxic environment can affect your health in major ways, and some of it may be reversible, some of it may be irreversible. Because for me, it began with a toxic work environment, then went into depression. Then through that depression, I suffered osteoarthritis and bone density issues because I wasn't eating and sleeping properly. And after battling the bone density issues and the calcium deficiency issues, I now got hit by something called Bell's palsy. And it's a form of paralysis of which I am still healing from. It has been a journey for me to get here. Just looking at my face, I'd call it upside down last year, and looking at myself in the mirror now, I feel it's a blessing. It's a miracle, and I'm very grateful to the people in my life that I have worked as a team behind me and God to get me here. So a friend of mine called me and akaniambia there's a vacancy somewhere so I can apply. Then I sent my CV and I was called for the interview. Then I was called for the actual job. Because I was so strained for funds, I took whatever was being given without really paying attention to the task ahead. Then I started the job with my whole heart. That job, I started it in November of 2018. Then by December 20th, I had made tremendous sales of approximately 2.5 M. I was selling milk processing equipments. And even when I was going for the job, I just wanted the job. And I didn't even know what milk processing equipments were about. Then I am mostly street taught about so many things. I've done so many things. So I can do a lot of things in one without the papers. So if it's clerical work, I can handle it. whenever I go, I just learn how to adapt and adjust. So as time went by, this person realized she can do this, she can do this. So he started piling so much work onto me. And whenever he was piling this work onto me, I was also trying to create simple solutions for the kind of duties that were being assigned to me. So I went on like that. I took all these duties. I was marketing, I was receiving calls, I was looking into the register, I was doing the payroll, I was checking with some suppliers. Sometimes I was even sent to go get supplies for the workshop. There was cleaning of the office. Sometimes the store person has been sacked. I can even go for 2 months. There's no one at the store. I am the one who again is working at the store, doing tools tracking, because the tools have to come back. You have to give and you have to track them. Checking on the, giving out the consumables, knowing who have given what and what amount. And now it was becoming hectic without me knowing. So I was shouldering it. At first, for me, because I think he knew that I had a drive, he wasn't insulting me. But I remember the first 2 days of me working there, I noticed he was insulting my colleagues. He was insulting my colleagues, and because I needed the job, and I was like, okay, since the insults are not directed to me, I think I can manage it, but I was uncomfortable. Then I thought maybe he's having a rough patch, maybe he's not always like that. Then we go. Then I realized it's a habit. So I would insult these people, until kuna inafika time nilisikia kama when they were being insulted, nilikuwa nasikia sasa pia mimi inaniingia. And I would get so tired. Every day when he comes in the morning, you don't know what he's coming with. He'll just start with something, and he would just make it a whole big deal. Then he also had this habit. Now we are talking about something I came to realize later was a toxic work environment. You see, there is that store lady there, but when you go online, he has advertised that position, and there's nothing that person has done. And when that other person will come, that person has been given directions. That same lady will be told to go pick the person who is coming to be interviewed for her position. Then he would do it now. He would be advertising people's position, and people are here, including me. And he would tell me to go pick someone he wants to interview for my position. Then he can even interview that person and tell you to show that person what you do. Then you are there, okay. You are showing them, and you are waiting for him to acknowledge that person is going to work, akurelease, akupe pesa yako uende. Then he realizes huyu haezi tolerate vitu zenye mimi hufanya, because you find mtu saa ingine ameletwa, amekaa siku 2 ama 3, huyo mtu anaenda peke yake. Then munabaki tu na yeye, wewe mwenye umemzoea. I was asking myself, why am I going to work? I'm so tired. Apart from that, me being a salesperson, I was making sales. I was advertising online, talking to people on phone, making them come, convincing them to buy, convincing them to even put 50% of the amount without even me having a machine down to demonstrate, and they were paying. Then time limit ya delivery He's not delivering on time. Now, these clients are mad. And who are they mad at? At me. Each and every client I sold to, at the end of it, got mad at me. And it was 100+ people. Yeah. They were always disappointed. Always. So when you want to make a sale, when you want to sell, there is that thing at the back of your mind. Sasa, na nimeleta huyu mtu auziwe hapa akosewe. No. And I was feeling like I was a part of that system. But me, my part is just to sell. His part and the part of the other guys is to deliver the machines. A machine that we know very well can be made by a week would go even for 2 months there. Paka mwenyewe anakasirika kabisa. Why? Someone has paid 50%. We are talking sometimes it's a machine worth 600,000. Someone has already paid 300,000. Then you start taking them to the roller coaster. Then when that client comes in, because I'm soothing this client on phone, oh wait, there has been this and this and this and this. Then a client decides to come in to check. When I say the client is now here, wants to see the progress, he disappears. Leaves me with that client. Some clients are gentle. Some clients are rough, my friend. Let me tell you. Some clients can really tell you everything they know in the vocabulary. Kila kitu atasema akusome, and you know you are on the wrong side, but it's not your fault. Then you'll be there, just taking it all in, shouldering it. And then you are supposed to go and convince another person to come and buy when you are from this desk of being insulted and harassed by a client, of which I will never blame any of my clients. They were right. We were wrong. But the fact that I was the one taking the heat for something I was not in control of was slowly creeping into me. Then, because he was afraid of directly insulting me, he would say, he is smart than everyone else. Yeah, sometimes there was a day he even said, he has employed stupid people. And when he was telling me that, I'm included, I'm also employed by him, and he has employed stupid people, then I am also stupid. Indirectly, he's just trying to tell me, you are stupid. You know, at home you have your things. You have your children, you have your stress zako za nyumba ziko. You come to work, there's no peace. Yani that seat was hot. You want to go home, you feel that there's no peace. You're choked everywhere. And the only place I would find peace ni kwa matatu. And I would really sleep. Na mwili yangu nikaa ilikuanga inajua. Nikishapanda gari pale, mwili yangu inajua ninaenda kufika Downhill, ninaamuka tu automatic ninashuka. That is a place nilikuwa napatanga ka amani ndani ya hiyo gari. Up to that point, I did not know I was depressed. So in the morning, I got to a point where in the morning I was so tired, extremely exhausted, and it's in the morning. Then I started losing sleep. Siku silali. And even I'm trying to force myself, silali. Then came the headaches. Then came the loss of appetite. Then now I was not eating. You'd find I would eat only 1 meal a day. I wasn't taking breakfast, but I was going to work. Maybe I would skip lunch sometimes or eat vitu nonsense. Then I would eat supper when I came, but not really. I lost my appetite, I lost my sleep. Then I started losing weight. You know, there is weight loss, and then there is a funny feeling. When I was walking, I would feel like I am weightless. I'm feeling like I am weightless, and if anything or anyone can just give me a small shove, I would just fall. Started feeling like that. Then at my feet, I would feel like if I take my foot ahead, I feel like it's going faster than faster than it should be going. You know yourself. So when I take my foot ahead, it's going faster. I'm like, okay, what's wrong with me? Then my feet were now very light, and I was feeling light. And most of the time I was feeling lightheaded. I was feeling funny. And then I started feeling, most of the time I started feeling some muscle pull kind of thing. And then, tunaitanga kukufa ganzi, kwa miguu. I started feeling those kinds of things. When I go down the stairs, now I started losing my steps on the stairs. Anytime the staircases were involved, I would always falter and almost fall. I started losing my steps on staircases. By that time I was feeling severe back pain, and I started feeling pain on my left knee. So I went there. I got this very young doctor at Bliss, Nyayo house. This guy, aliniambia, okay, tell me your problem. Then I told him, doctor, I can't really say that I'm sick. I don't even know how to explain what I'm going through, but I've just decided to come. Akaniambia, ebu iweke in simpler terms. Nikamwambia, nasikia niko mrahisi. I'm weightless. Yes, I've lost weight, but I'm feeling kama mtu anapelekwa na upepo. Na mguu zangu zinaenda faster than they should when I'm walking. Akacheka. Na nasikia kama nakufa ganzi. Akaniambia some pain anyway. Nikamwambia mgongo, na si mgongo, maybe ni kwa sababu hizo cesarean sections. I thought it was okay. Kasema mguu, kaambia mguu side moja. Akaniambia right diagnosis inakuanga, I think it's a life saver. Kijana aliniambia, I am suspecting you're having bone density issues. Before we get to that, I want you to go through a series of tests. Utaenda uangaliwe calcium levels zako na uende ultrasound, uende kwa scan huko. Kaenda, karudi. Kaangalia, kaniambia, you have already developed osteoarthritis on your left knee. But umefanya vizuri, umekuja mapema. Na uko na hizo bone density issues venye nilikuwa na suspect. Calcium levels zako ziko very low. Looking at your weight, your age and your height, I was weighing 45. Told me your BMI is wanting. If you get even a typhoid or something, naweza kukupeleka vibaya sana. So, you need to be on calcium supplements for both the bone density issue and your osteo. And apart from that, you really need to eat, because you seem like you've not been eating properly and sleeping properly. And those are things that you need to eat and sleep. Went home, got the drugs, got myself food, decided to be eating and sleeping, eating and sleeping, because I was fighting to improve my BMI as fast as possible. So within like 2 months, I had really fought it, and I went all the way from 45 up to 52. And believe you me, it was eating uji nini. I was really eating and sleeping and doing my things just in the house, doing my small things and sleeping most of the time. And I improved on that. I improved. By the next year, now 2021, by January, February, I went back, and I got out of the calcium supplements, and then focused on eating healthy. But when it came to almost the end of now 2021, I was having my stress and the stress from work. And one day this HR consultant, she's called Kaleche, she had come for some work at that place. Just one look at me, na tujazoeana. God bless that woman. She asked me that magical question, are you okay? Are you okay? What? I couldn't answer that question. Started crying. I cried, and she held me. She gave me a hug. That was very important. She held me and told me to cry. Cry. Then she told me that she was going to do something about it. She told me, you need therapy. Nikamwambia, I can't afford therapy. Nikamwambia, I'm going to do something about it. You focus on being well. Then she ensured I got therapy. I had six sessions of therapy. After getting the therapy, during that therapy session is when I realized that I have bottled up a lot of things since kitambo. Now this one is just a trigger, blowing up everything that has been happening. And I also learned something from that lady, that therapist. I learned that I should find myself, I should love myself, and I should find things that I like doing. Then that same year, I experienced some really thorough form of betrayal. Now after dealing with the osteo, after trying to deal with the depression, that I now had to change. There are people I needed to distance myself from because my health depended on it. And I got the courage to just say, si lazima nikue kazi. I will not beg for it. Wacha ikae. Then, after I've dealt with all these things, tunaenda nafika mahali sijui. I think during that depression, body yangu ilikuwa, immune system yangu was just generally compromised. Then one day it was last year, now 2021 November, around 22nd, I started feeling pain here. Then I felt like someone had slept wrongly on a pillow. Then I massaged it. That is what people do. I massaged it, slept. The next day, continued feeling the pain, massaged it. Then I was talking to my neighbor, my next door neighbor. I'm telling her, hey, this thing, I'm massaging it and it's not going. It's not going. Then the third day, okay. Now the fourth day, in the evening, I even made someone's hair. And I was in so much pain. But in the evening, I felt like my tongue was sticky, like I've swallowed glue. It was sticky, and then I was feeling funny. Now the pain had shifted from my neck to the back of my ear, and it was piercing, like someone was stabbing me. And you see, during that time, I don't know what happened to my my sense of thought, because during that time I wasn't thinking straight. I went to sleep hoping that the pain would go. I took painkillers, but no. Then I started watching movies on YouTube on my phone because I didn't want to disturb the kids. At that particular time I was alone with the kids in the house. When it got to around 1, I decided to take another painkiller. Then after taking the painkiller, the pain left me for a bit. Then I felt the urge to sleep because I was tired. I hadn't slept for days because of the pain. So I slept deeply. So I knew the time because I was watching a movie. And I was telling myself, I'm waiting for morning to come so that I can go to the hospital. So I was looking at the time. You know, when you are in pain and the time isn't, you don't feel like time is moving. You keep watching at the time. So I slept for around 30 minutes. Deep. Very deep. When I woke up, yeah, the pain was gone, but there was some mysterious form of tightness on my face, like someone had tied a bandage or something on my face, so tight. Then something hit my mind, then I jumped. I went and looked at myself in the mirror. What? I found this eye extremely open, just like this kabisa, kumefunguka kabisa yote. Then my nose had like changed its position, and then my mouth had also changed position. It had moved to this place, and I was feeling so tight, and my ear had that sound, that like a whizzing sound, like a continuous bird chirping. I was there. I lost strength. I held myself. I couldn't breathe all of a sudden. I was so shocked. I didn't even remember to scream. I didn't remember anything. I just went and sat on the bed, sat quietly for maybe 20 minutes or so, without thinking of anything. My phone was just there, but I wasn't even thinking of calling anyone to come take me to the hospital, because I had a lot of people who I could have called. Even just my next door neighbor would have called, nipelekeni hospitali. But I was shocked and blank kabisa. When it got to the morning, I cleaned up everything. But when my son woke up, one look at my face, he started crying. And I asked him, Baba, kwa nini unalia? And he was like, Mama, sitaki kuwa mgonjwa. Then I realized, if this child is noticing it, it's very serious. It's not in my head. Then when my neighbor woke up, we met at the balcony. One look at me and she told me, where are the kids? You know, I had also given them a shower, given them breakfast. I'd done everything. I'd taken a shower myself. It was around 7 a.m. I didn't want to disturb her. I wanted her to wake up ndio niende hospitali. Then fortunately she woke up that early, and looking at me, she told me, bring the kids, just go, you can walk. Nikaambia yes, just put on my mask, and I put on some goggles and my hood. I took myself to the hospital with all the stress and shock without calling anyone. I boarded a matatu, got alighted at Gara, went to Aga Khan. There too, right diagnosis at the first step. Got there, that person asked me, what is wrong with you? I told him, I cannot tell you what's wrong with me. Allow me to remove my mask. Because, you know, during that time, the issues of mask were very serious. Allow me to remove my mask so that you can see, because I can't talk about it. Katoa macho nne, katoa mask. Akaniambia hiyo inaitwa Bell's palsy. Nikamuuliza, Bell's what? Bell's palsy, what is that? Before he answered me, I was the one now like asking him questions and answering myself all in one. Bell's what? Before he answers, is it curable or not? Before he answered, or is it something I should start adjusting to dealing with? Then he told me, hey, slow, madam, slow. Tulia, relax, let me talk. Then I was there. He told me, okay, it's called Bell's palsy, and it happens rarely. But I am surprised, even yesterday someone came here, alikuwa amechapwa nayo. This is something that some medics will spend the rest of their career without even seeing mtu akisafa ikitu. Lakini niko surprised, mimi niliona mtu jana nayo, na tena wewe umekuja leo nayo. So that makes me think this is shocking and curious, but is it treatable? Akasema yes, you'll take your medications as directed, and you also need physio. Kaenda pale nikapewa dawa, nilipewa antiviral kwa sababu wanasema the cause of Bell's palsy is it comes as an aftermath of viral infection, and probably immune system yako ilikuwa give way, saa hiyo inakuwa attack, na it's like tutasema ni like a mini stroke, because inavuruta hizi vitu kabisa. Things are shifting, and nilipewa steroids, prednisone na hizo antivirals, na physio pia nilikuwa nafaa kuenda, na niliendanga tu mara moja. So the fact that I did not consult anyone, but just the first thing I did is prayed to God and said, God, take it. Do it as you want to. Then I went to the hospital without consulting anyone. Then you come and you will hear stories like, now that you went to Bondo, hao watu walikufanyia kitu. Then I'm like, no, I am sick. It's a medical condition. Na hakuna mahali pengine naenda. Sitaenda kwa mganga, na sitaenda sijui kutafuta mtu wa kanisa amevaa nguo ya red ama ya purple. Nitameza dawa venye nimeambiwa, na nitapiga magoti hapa, nitajiombea. Kwa sababu nina feel like zile stress nimejiwekea pia zimechangia mimi kufika hapa. So I should pray for peace, because peace is the number one thing that I need to heal. Hizi stories zingine za maybe ulienda, maybe walikufanyia, mimi siko hapa, hakuna mtu amenifanyia kitu. I am sick. Period. Because the way this Bell's palsy thing happens, if you are a superstitious person, believe you me, utaamka asubuhi uende utafute either mtu wa maombi ama mganga or something. Two things you will go looking for, because you're not really sick. You're not really sick, but you just wake up and hata hakuna signs ama nini ama history, then you wake up and boom, your face is upside down. Believe you me, if you are superstitious, you'll waste time and money going for things that will not even help you. Because for instance, if I go kwa mganga mwenye pia hata ajui jina ya kitu inanisumbua, aanze kunipea mavitu nikunywe, vitu hazisaidii hiyo viral infection, face yako itabaki hivyo. Hiyo ni one. Two, you will end up blaming an innocent person for something that is just a disease. Utaendanga hapo ukisema nani alinifanyia hii, nani alinifanyia hii, na hakuna kitu mtu amekufanyia. Ni wewe ndio umejifanyia by not going to the hospital. My journey through the hospitals has taught me some things. Has taught me that we don't know all diseases. Hata saa ile ninaambia mtu ati osteo, mtu anauliza osteo ni nini? Unaona? But in the village setting, mtu akiwa anasikia, ameenda kwa shamba kidogo akaanza kusikia mguu, ina home area uko Lueland kuna kuanga na kitu inasemekana ati kuokotwa mguu. Someone will say nilienda niliokotwa mguu. Nilienda hawanitaki vizuri, wameniroga uso. After going to the hospital, after getting the drugs, the intake of prednisone is so high, and there are steroids. After one day of taking the medication, my face, on my cheeks, both sides, I had some serious flare-ups like someone who had burnt. So being that I am a little bit light-skinned, hapa ilikuwa red na it was terrible. Just looking at myself, then I was like, okay. One, my face has switched. Now, my face is burning. And it was burning literally. Ulikuwa unasikia ina burn. Now, every time I looked at myself in the mirror, I would cry. Watu wakikuja, nawaambia, I'll be okay, I've been told I'll be okay, I'll be there smiling. But internally, I was fighting some of my own battles. I was looking at myself in the mirror and crying and crying. The whole of that week, my cheeks were swollen and red. And it was itchy, but I couldn't scratch it. Because I felt like if I scratch, I will be worsening or spreading it. I took the medication for that whole week. They were for 7 days. Then on the 8th day, after the drugs were over, during the medication, I wasn't feeling any pain. I want you to picture that. I wasn't feeling any pain. Neither was I seeing any improvement. And that was so stressful. Taking so many medications. Day one, I've taken all these tablets. I was taking 6 tablets of prednisone in the morning and in the evening, and then the other drugs I was taking too. So in a day I was approximately taking close to 20 tablets, indio. But day 1, no improvement. Day 2, no improvement. Your face is swelling and your cheeks are burning. Day 3, no improvement. Your face is worsening. I am unable to drink. If I drink, because my mouth and my jaw are deformed, God created us in a way that He knew precisely. Things want to come out. If I eat, I cannot properly chew because I realize that there is a design in our mouths. Kumbe tukikula, ukichiu, kuna venye ulimi huwa inazunguka ikipelekanga chakula towards you. Hiyo ni kitu sikuwa najua inafanyikanga naturally until I was hit by that thing. So, side moja ya tongue yangu siko paralyzed. Side ingine ina function. But nikikula, since the whole tongue cannot function, hiyo chakula inakaa hapo, lazima nifanye hivi. Ndio iende. Lazima ninachiu alafu ninazindikisha hivi. Because now I was to chew with this side. Ndio nikichiu inachiu. Juu hii side haifanyi kazi. Aya, chai nikikunywa na kunywa, lakini nashikilia jo. Ndio. Iende. So eating was a problem. Sleeping was a problem because that side kuna venye iko tu stiff. It was stiff. Talking, laughing. Now my eye. The eye also has its natural way of doing things. When you blink, your eye is lubricated. But now that eye cannot blink. So that eye becomes dry. It's burning. Hey. It's burning. And now the lubrication that comes through here, now inajichanga hapa chini. It banks itself here. So your eye keeps just tearing throughout. Mtu afikiria unalia na uli. The tearing went on, the excessive tearing went on for, maybe let's talk of 4 months, the excessive tearing. Then even now it's tearing, but not that much. I can close my eyes at will. I can blink sometimes, but still I haven't gained the mobility side kabisa. Yani sijagain. Hata hiyo jaw kuna venye bado imetilt. Kwa wale watu wananijua kabisa. Lakini any other person hata notice kama nimenyamaza. But when I smile you can notice. When I smile you can notice. Day 8 after I finished. Simemaliza siku ya 7. Day 8 I'm expecting even a slight change wapi. It was so quiet. But in the evening, I started feeling like, when I was sitting like this, I was feeling like, have you ever dislocated your arm or your foot? Then someone is trying to put it back. So I was feeling like, I'm seated, I'm alone, nobody is touching me, but I was feeling like there is a massage therapist or someone who is doing that to me, returning a dislocated part to its place. Where? I was feeling all sorts of things, movement, my neck, everything, and I was like, hey, what is this again? What is happening? And it was so painful. So it was happening like a spasm. It was happening like for like 5 minutes, then in a relax. Then after some time, then another 5 minutes of that thorough action on my face. So the next day, on the 9th day, I realized after that pain, if I feel that pain, when I go to the mirror, I find that something has moved to the correct, something is moving towards the correct direction. So I feel the pain, then when I go and look, I find mdomo imesonga kidogo imerudi. Then macho inakuwa ndogo, inarudi to its size. Unajua ilikuwa imekaa hivi kabisa, ilikuwa tight. Sasa inarudi. Kidogo kidogo pain, mapua inarudi. I went back to the hospital and told the doctor that the kind of pain I'm experiencing, it's unmanageable. Akaniambia, unasikia ni mingi, hiyo maumivu ni mingi kuliko ile maumivu ulisikia vitu zikienda side mbaya. Nikamwambia sasa saa hii nasikia uchungu kuliko uchungu nilisikia saa ile vitu zilikuwa zinaharibika. Akaniambia, si unajua wewe ukienda udislocate mkono yako, mtu mwenye atairudisha atafanya usikie uchungu kuliko saa ile uliumia. Kaambia ni ukweli. Kaniambia that is what is happening. Things are trying to reinstate themselves. So that is the pain you are going to experience. I'm only going to give you painkillers. About the face hiyo ni effect ya hizo steroids. Now that will depend with how you will handle yourself. So we went with it. That pain ya kurudisha hizo vitu ni pain ilisikia for months. I only went for one physiotherapy session. Then I asked the physio guy, is there a way I can do something at home instead of coming here? Please. Because nature ya kazi na zile responsibilities niko nazo haziwezi kuniallow ni shinde nikikuja, na pia hiyo pesa pia sina na sitaki kubaki hivi. Kanifundisha, akaniambia but someone has to be doing it for you. At that particular time I had this perfect lady who was watching my kids. She's called Carol. Nikakuja nikamwambia nimeamua nifanyie hivi. Then Carol took that thing personal. Alichukua personal, alichukua kama yake. You know, even when I was tired and I wanted to assume that our home therapy session, nimetoka kazi, nimeingia, nimeoga, nimesneak, nimeenda kwa bedroom, atakuja asimame hapo. Nikumasajua, niko na masajua tu na hii. Naitanga Arimis. Anasimama nayo kwa mlango, anambia mama Sedo leo masajiwi. Na ilikuwanga uchungu. Ndio maana sometimes I felt like skipping. It was usually a very painful thing, but she did it continuously. Even when I was giving up, she kept reminding me, she kept standing at the door of that bedroom to ensure that I slept with that massage. She did it for 3 months, and here I am. My face is back. Though I've battled that steroid-induced acne for the best part of this year. But also, hiyo pia nafanya tu na vitu zenye tu ni home remedy. Mimi sipakangi makeup. So, mimi tu ni kukula tangawizi, kukunywa lemon tea, nikitafuta vitamin C, na kuosha uso na compress maji moto kila siku nikijimassage uso, na inanisaidia kudeal na hiyo steroid induced acne. There is a client of mine too that I realized that same November last year she was hit by Bell's palsy. When she came, she was so distraught. Nilikuwa nimevaa mask. Nikaanza kucheka. Akaniuliza unacheka nini? Nikamwambia I don't want to seem insensitive, but let me just remove my mask so that you can see. When I removed my mask, and her face was also, and it was 1 month down the line. Nikamwambia wacha ni smile ndio uone kitu inafanyika. Then we started laughing. My friend, we laughed. You found someone who is experiencing what you are experiencing. But for her, when I see her, hata sai, yeye akijarudi. But I've tried to tell her that for me this is what I'm doing. But maybe our journeys are different, our wills are different, our strengths are different. You cannot judge the other person. Yeah, unfortunately, na tulichapwa at the same time. Yeah, unfortunately. Naonanga mdomo yake bado iko tu uko kando kabisa, na macho imekata kabisa kabisa kabisa. And looking at her, she's very, very sad. And this looking at her and looking at any other person who's been through depression makes me want to talk about these issues, makes me want to say that do not expect someone outside of you to help you more than you can help yourself. Try to get solutions. Try to accept that these are situations that are not in your control, but once they have come, you have to learn how to adjust. So when someone tells me that I have a talent, I can lift, you see, I don't know if you're seeing it, I cannot lift the other side just remains. So when someone tells me, hey, why are you lifting one side of your face and the other one you're not, then that person is also trying and they can't do it. I don't take it personal. I just say that huyu hajui. Na nikipata mtu hajui ninamuexplainia. Just by sharing, I believe naweza saidia mtu yote. Because watu wengi mtu ataenda ushago kidogo akirudi akichapwa na hiki tu usiku aanze kublame mtu. Kitu yenye angeenda hospitali. Apart from that, wengine wetu utafilisiwa na some unscrupulous health practitioners. They will tell you things that are not there. They'll give you wrong diagnosis. They will make you do things out of the ordinary. But it's something that very simple. You can even get treatment at a public hospital. And the massages you can be given at home. And you can recover. There is something that is very important that watu hawajui. Creation of boundaries. Creation of boundaries. In whatever relationship you are in. Creation of boundaries. Be it within you and your parent, within you and your siblings, within you and your spouse, within you and your colleagues, within you and your boss. There are some boundaries that you should never compromise, and I realize I compromised a lot of boundaries. I was the nisawa kind of person. Nisawa tu, but nowadays it's not sawa. When it's something that is going to compromise me in any way, I point it out and I talk about it. And again, I have learned to walk away from things that I feel can distress me. Yeah, nikiona tu hii inataka inikasirishe na iondokea mapema, I go. I choose peace. The time I spent in a toxic work environment was 2 years. And the exhaustion, the lack of sleep, the lack of appetite, and the constant bickering from the dissatisfied client and the employer and colleagues lump sumly led to whatever, plus my stress at home just joined up and blew up on my face. And I got to a point where I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle anything. I couldn't. And I lost it. And only my brother knows this. In fact, it's not my brother, it's my brother and some two friends of mine. They know about me really getting to a point that I was having suicidal thoughts. I felt like maybe I shouldn't be here. I am so tired. I'm so tired. And during that time that I was trying to reorganize myself and rediscover myself, there are people in your life that are so judgmental, and they worsen your condition. They worsen it kabisa. And that is why I said the magical question that Kalecha asked me was, are you okay? And that was the beginning of my healing process. Someone at least paid attention, and someone at least was willing to listen without judging, and someone was at least willing to offer help. I told you earlier, 2 days into that place, I knew, wow, this is not okay. But I soldiered on. I didn't listen to my instinct. I knew it wasn't right, but I didn't listen. Then things kept creeping up, but I wasn't listening to myself until my body now started reacting. That is when I started losing sleep, losing appetite, losing weight, and being unnecessarily tired and forgetful. And I also began being very emotional. Kitu kidogo tu talia, ilifika mwili tu ndio sasa ili jam. You know, it starts with you recognizing this is not right, but you soldier on. But it will come a time that your body now starts reacting to this environment. Then when your body now starts reacting, you again push yourself. When you push yourself now, the health issues start creeping up. My health issues might be different from another person's health issues. Kuna mtu yeye ata pressure, atakuwa na hypertension, atakuwa na ulcers, atakuwa tu na vitu zake mwingine. Na mimi zangu zenye zilikuja ni hizo. Unaona? Of which I'm lucky, maybe kuna wengine inakuja hizi zenye nilisafa plus pressure plus ulcers, all these things combined. You might even find yourself with 6 health conditions. You can even get a stroke. And for some people don't even recover from strokes. Yeah. So you listen to yourself. Stop even listening to other people. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. And if you don't listen to yourself, when your body starts to act up, listen to your body. I also just want to encourage someone to, when you're sick, please go to the hospital without really consulting people who are not medics. Go to the hospital, because without going to the hospital, you might be doing yourself a disservice. And above all, speak to yourself and push yourself to have a will towards improving. It's not only for the Bell's palsy people. And my heart goes and pours out to anyone who has ever been paralyzed in any way. It takes a will to survive it, and it takes a will to heal if there is healing, or it takes a will to adapt to the situation.